The Army and Navy football teams face off tomorrow in one of the biggest rivalries in college football. It will air on CBS. West Point cadet Simone Askew will lead the March of the U.S. Military Academy Cadets. She is the first black woman to command the Corps of Cadets. It is a role previously held by General Douglas MacArthur and four-star Army generals who currently command forces in South Korea and Afghanistan. First on CBS This Morning, we introduce you to Askew in our new series, Profiles in Service. It's a look at people who dedicate their lives to helping others. We visited Askew at West Point to learn what inspires her commitment to service.
The U.S. Military Academy is America's oldest service academy, more than 200 years old. But never in its history has it had someone like Simone Askew. At 21, she is the highest-ranking cadet at West Point, commanding a brigade of 4,400.
So you're the only one with this amount of stripes in this star.
Yes, exactly.
Askew is the first African-American woman selected to serve as first captain of the Corps of Cadets.
My focus now is really to be the best first captain I can be, regardless of gender or race. And that when the firstie class graduates in May, I'm remembered as a good leader and not necessarily as a good African-American female leader.
Attention. And yet, gender and race do set her apart. As the child of a white mom and a black dad, Askew says she often felt excluded.
It forces me at a young age to be okay with my own sense of identity. So in all senses, it was a positive thing.
At West Point, 22% of cadets are women, and less than 4% are black women.
Seeing someone, at least at the surface, who you can relate to provides a motivation.
I'm very encouraged by the enthusiasm and attention that you guys provided today, and I would just ask you to strive for greater things.
For some, that person is Simone, and for her, that person is Pat Locke.
It makes everything that you do, that you endure, worth it.
In 1980, Locke was one of the first two African-American women to graduate from the academy.
We've been building to Simone for the last 35 years. You see so much of our nation in her, the way that she thinks, the way that she carries herself. She knows she wants to be a leader because she can make a difference.
It's a dedication to service, Askew learned from her mom.
What does service mean to you?
Definitely giving when there is not a foreseeable benefit or beneficial outcome to yourself.
So when did that idea of selfless service come to you?
It was definitely the example of my mom.
Pam Askew develops affordable housing for primarily black communities in Washington, D.C.
That is service to a community that she doesn't receive benefit from, or at least initially does not have any connection to. And seeing her do that and be committed and devoted to that was something I knew I wanted to do when I grew up, just to be exactly like her.
How much do you credit your mother with where you are today?
About 110% of it, yeah. I mean, every single ounce of it. My mom kept me busy, and she'll tell you it was to keep me away from boys and out of trouble, and it worked.
She credits a big volleyball tournament in high school with helping her learn what she calls one of the most important qualities of leadership: temperament.
It was down to maybe the last game point, and I freaked out. I didn't feel comfortable, and we lost the game, and I accredited a lot of that to my inability to remain calm. And that lesson alone, along with many others, taught me a lot about what I valued in leaders and also the type of leader I wanted to be.
Now Askew says she's trying to be a leader her fellow cadets deserve.
After listening to you, I keep thinking about how temperament leads to performance, leads to success.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
I think it's so important because it sets a climate in your own head, but also in the atmosphere around you. Making sure you make other people feel comfortable is really the key to success in a lot of what we do in the Army, because it is a people business.
Isn't she incredible? And let me just tell you this, Simone Askew is also one of 32 American students awarded the prestigious Rhodes Scholarship this year to continue her studies at the University of Oxford in England. And after that, she says she's going to stay in the military as long as they will have her. And for now, today is her 21st birthday. So happy birthday, Simone.
Does she play the piano and make her own clothes? I can see why, ever since Bianna, when Norah came back from the story, you were raving about Simone, and now I so get it. I love what she said, wanting to be the best regardless of gender and race. Love her and love her mom.
Yeah, you know, you think about there are so many great people who are dedicated to the service of this country every day.
Yes.
And she's one of them, along with many others. And she's just such a bright leader, I think, for our future as well.
What a gift she is for this country,
But
too.
she said it's a people business. All right.
Yeah.
President Askew, anyone?
Yeah, I know, I was.
I can hear it. I can hear it. You can hear more of CBS This Morning on our podcast. Find them all on iTunes and Apple's podcast app.